Hello everybody, AJ Ryzik here. Today we've got video number 3 in our WordPress tutorial series. Today we're going to take a look at how to upload and install plugins and themes to your WordPress site. And this is very easy to do, and both add a lot of functionality to your site. Whereas the theme gives you a general overall look and feel to the site. The plugin is more about some kind of specific functionality, and there's tons of plugins out there. You know, you may add a anti-spam plugin, or you may add a plugin for Google Analytics, maybe to optimize the SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. There's lots of plugins to add functionality, and when I go and add plugins on here, I will down in the video description I'll leave a list of the most common plugins that I use. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're going to want to use, or what's best for your particular situation, but it kind of gives you an idea of what I like to use, and I'll kind of go through why I use them, that sort of thing. But I'm going to start with the theme. So now right now we're on our WordPress dashboard, but if you just come over to Appearance and click on Themes, and you can see these are the 3 themes that came installed by default. Now depending on your host, you may have more themes that are installed by default, especially if you're using like the Fantastico or Soft Delicious installer. They may have installed other themes at the same time. So let's go, and I'll just open up another window here so you can see what our site looks like now. And this is running, and it's kind of bland because we haven't added anything to our site yet. But it's using the default 2015 theme. Now we already have these uploaded by default. If we wanted to change, say, to this 2014 theme, they've got a live preview which you can click, and it gives you an idea of what your theming would look like, and then you could go over here and do a little tweaking, customization, that sort of thing, so you can see what the theme would look like. And then to activate the theme, you just click on the activate, and it'll take it a second. And now that whatever theme is in your upper left hand corner right here, that is the current active theme. And if we go to our home page now and refresh it, you'll see it's now on the 2014 theme. Now to add a new theme, there's basically 2 different ways you can go. One, if you click on that add a theme, it brings you to this right here, which are themes that are uploaded into the WordPress.org database, and you can do searches through here, featured, popular, latest, or you can put in some search terms. You got a filter right here, so if you're looking for something with responsive layout, which is, if you're unfamiliar with that term, responsive layout, that's become pretty popular in the past couple of years. Whether you're on a widescreen monitor or a small tablet or a smartphone, the layout and the theming will change based on the size of your device. So maybe that, I think that's a feature that you definitely should have these days. So click on that responsive layout, and then maybe there's some kind of color scheme you're looking for, and then they've got some features listed here, so you could use these filters, apply filters, and boom, it's going to find some for you. And then you can go through and once again do the preview. If you click on the details and previews, it kind of lets you get an overview of it. And over here, it doesn't look like this one's been rated yet, but there's a up to 5-star rating. Let's see if we can find one that's been rated. Depending on how new the theme is, it may not have any ratings at all. Like this one, it's only got 1 rating so far. So if you are kind of a word of advice, not necessarily advice, but just something to throw out there. If you are using one of the themes from the WordPress.org database, please leave a rating and a few comments, what you thought of it, just so that it'll help other people out. And going through the themes in the WordPress database, there's a lot of good ones in there. There's some that I didn't think much of, but there's some that I really liked, and they may fit your need perfectly. Since it's probably a free theme. You can save some money if you can find something that works out for you. So anyway, that's first way that you can add a theme. Another is, and this is going to be the most common way, if you are adding a paid for theme, is going to be manually uploading it. Now, I talked in the previous videos that we're going to be using from Elegant Themes the Divi theme, and here we're in Elegant Themes, and this is this section right here is the members area. The way they, rather than just buying a theme from them, the way they work things, and let me go to this here, so they've got like this subscription type plan. So for $69 you can sign up for it, and you can download any of their, not only any of their themes, but every one of their themes if you want. Like I said, complete access to all their themes. And then they got a developer level, which also gets you access to their plugins and the Photoshop files for all the images used in their themes. And then they've got this lifetime access thing where for $249 you get it, for the rest of your life. Personally, I got this $69 thing here, and like I said, I've used their themes on other websites in the past. I like their products, so to me it's worth it for that small amount to get access to all those themes. And I'll just go ahead and say it right now. I don't get any kind of kickbacks or anything from Elegant Themes for mentioning it. Not affiliated with them. I like their products. But there's a lot of other good premium themes out there. A lot of people rave about the Genesis themes. Just go out on the internet and check out some of the themes out there, and find out what other people like. And like I said, try some of the free themes from WordPress.org, because there are a lot of good ones there. But anyway, okay, so we come here and pick out the theme that we're using. We're using the Divi theme. Click on the download and download the theme package. I've already done it. As you can see, it's right down there. So let's go back to our blog, and we're going to upload a theme. Choose the file, and let's see, where did I put? I think I put that in my download file. There it is. So grab the Divi zip file, click install now, and just wait for it to do its thing. Okay, so Divi is installed, and you can see you could do a live preview, activate, or return to theme page. I'll click activate, and because of the way Divi is designed, we'll come here and you can see what we got now. This this isn't what our final product is going to be like. It's just kind of, you know, the default of what you're going to see until we get to doing some work on setting up our homepage and all that. But as you can see, the new theme is installed, and that part of things is ready to go. So let's turn our attention to plugins now. Alright, so let's come down to plugins, and we're going to go to add new. And like I said, a plugin is going to add a specific function or some kind of functionality to your site. And I'll kind of go as I go through the plugins that I use on a regular basis. I'm just going to talk a little bit about them today, and a lot of them we probably won't activate yet just because they're not needed yet. And as they're needed, I'll kind of talk more about them through the video series. But this kind of gives you an idea of uploading and installing, that sort of thing. And once again, this is all coming from the WordPress database. And just like with the themes, if you buy a premium plugin, you are going to upload it by clicking the upload plugin, choose the file, install it, and install it via that route. For the most part, the plugins that I use are all going to come from the database, and I'll just kind of go through them one by one. Jetpack by WordPress.com. Now, as you may or may not know, there's a difference between WordPress.org, WordPress.com. WordPress.org is what we're using here. It's where we upload our own WordPress site and install our theme, and we run the show. WordPress.com is basically you can set up a free site on WordPress.com, but you are limited on certain things that you can do. However, they've got some really neat functionality built into WordPress.com. Well, what Jetpack does is it gives you a lot of that functionality that the WordPress.com users have. Now, the one thing that I will say about Jetpack is it's probably the best way to think of Jetpack is it is a packet of multiple plugins. There's a whole bunch of functions that you can use them or you cannot use them. I will tell you that if you activate everything from Jetpack, it slows down your site something fierce. So there's only a couple of features of Jetpack that I use, and like I said earlier, as we go through the video series, I'll show you what I do and don't use. But we'll go ahead and we'll install this now. And we are not going to activate this plugin right now. If we wanted to activate it right now, just click there. So we'll go back to the plugin installer. Next one, and you can do a search right here. And while I'm talking about finding different plugins, just like with the themes, you can do a filter it by features, popular, recommended, favorites, that sort of thing. I've got a list here of what I'm going to install, so I don't really need the filtering, but it's there if you want to kind of browse. Okay, Antispam Bee, it kind of speaks for itself. It's an anti-spam plugin. And there's a lot of anti-spam plugins, but I really like this one, and I'm going to activate this one right away. So click activate, and as you can see, these are the plugins that I have installed. Antispam Bee right there, and you can see Jetpack right here, and it is not activated because you got the activate button showing. So let's go back to adding plugins. AutoChimp is, and we'll just pull up, this is from the MailChimp people. If you're not familiar with MailChimp, it is a mailing list and email service. So if you want to set up your site so that people can sign up for a newsletter, this adds that functionality. So we're going to install that now. I don't need to activate it yet. I might as well, just so that it's ready when I need it. Okay, so we got that one. Better WordPress Minify, and let me pull this up so that you can read along with me. It says allows you to combine and minify your CSS and JS files to improve page loading times. And rather than go through the rest of the details, that kind of right there sums it up of why you'd want it. It speeds up your page loading time. And once again, there's several plugins out there that add that functionality, but that one right there, I found that it works very well. There's like I said, there's others that work, but I've always had good luck with it, so I'll stick with it. All right. If you are going to use Google Analytics, there's basically every page, every post on your site needs to have a little piece of JavaScript so that Google can analyze your site for how many hits you're getting, that sort of thing. This little plugin does that for you so that you don't have to remember, oh yeah, I need to add I need to add JavaScript to this particular page. So and once again, I've used this plugin for years. It works great, that gets the job done, and they're pretty good about keeping it updated, so I'm going to stick with that one. Tweetily automatically tweets posts for you. Assuming that you've got a Twitter account, if you want to, throw out automatic tweets about your particular post, this will do that for you automatically. You can set up so that it does it once an hour, once every 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. You can specify only tweeting from a certain category. You can specify no pages. You can specify, you can all kinds of options as far as how you set that thing up. So, and worked well for me in the past, so sticking with it. Unveil Lazy load, and what this is, it's a WordPress plugin which makes lazy image loading possible to decrease the number of requests, improve page loading time. And what it is, obviously when you read a web page, you start at the top and then you move down. Well, it loads stuff it makes sure that stuff at the top loads first, and then as slowly adds the rest of your content. So a person can start reading that particular web page quicker, essentially. All right, the next on our list is W3 Total Cache, and trying to come up with how to explain caching, I pulled this from the WordPress.org site, and that said that, and this probably sums it up pretty well. Plugins like W3 Total Cache or WP Super Cache can be easily installed and will cache your WordPress posts and pages as static files. These static files are then served to users, reducing the processing load on the server. This can improve performance several hundred times over fairly static pages. And I can tell you without a doubt that this speeds up the loading of your site phenomenally. So I'm not saying definitely have to go with W3. You can pick a different one if you like. I've just had good luck with this one in the past. This WP Super Cache, I know a lot of people that use that one and rave about it also. So if you're going with either one of those, you should be in great shape. But definitely add some kind of caching plugin. So we're going to install that now. And this is definitely one that until you finish with getting that initial site setup done, I wouldn't worry about activating it. WordPress SEO is the next one that we're going to look at. And once again, kind of like the caching program, there's a lot of SEO plugins out there. I've always had great luck with the Yoast WordPress SEO, so that's why I'm going with it. And once again, the SEO stands for search engine optimization. This kind of optimizes your site so that those search engines can find your post pages, all that kind of stuff. WP Optimize, that kind of says it all right here. Simple but effective plugin allows you to extensively clean up your WordPress database and optimize it without doing manual queries. And once again, it gets back to making your website load quickly. And if you're not using a plugin like this and you're not going to your database and manually doing a little cleanup there, the whole WordPress dashboard gets pretty sluggish. So this is a good one to install. WP Advertize it. If you use Google AdSense, which are little pop-up ads that you see, well, not just pop-up ads, but just ads in general that you see on websites. This is one that really simplifies adding it to your post pages, that sort of thing. Let me go and pull up one of my other sites. And so you can see an example of it, because I use that same plugin on this site. And kind of if you scroll down, you see there's one of the ads posted there to the side. And this wasn't a long article, but you see I've got it set up so that it'll put one small ad right in there. And I think on really long ads I've got it set up so maybe midway through it'll have one more, but on the shorter ads it's not going to show up. But yeah, that kind of gives you an idea on setting it up. And actually probably I will do an entire video on setting up AdSense and adding ads to your site, because if you're going to do that, there's a lot of art and some art and science, both to getting it right. So we'll probably do an entire video on that one. All right, XML sitemap and Google News feed. Feeds from the XML sitemap and Google News feed. Menu for the hungry spiders. Multi-site compatible. Long story short, this creates an XML sitemap for your website so that Google, when it's sending those search engine spiders out, it can basically read the layout of your site and find all the posts, the pages, all that kind of stuff. Definitely a good plugin to set up. And this last one, if you do YouTube videos or you want to display YouTube videos on your website, this is a great plugin to use. YouTube channel gallery, and it creates a gallery of all, it doesn't necessarily even have to be your YouTube channel, but a gallery of YouTube videos. Let me go back to my Aria Prime site and I can show you an example of it. There we go, Linux Video Gallery. So I've got it set up so that at the top of the page you get this, you get like the latest video that I've done, and then I have it set. Now there's different ways you can set it up. You can do it by playlist and all that kind of thing. I've got it set up just for my channel, and each time a new video is added to my channel, it's going to pop up here automatically, and it just goes in chronological order that they were added. Now you can set it up by playlists, and you can have multiple channels on here, all kinds of ways that you can configure it, but for me this is the easiest, rather than having to do the playlists and all that kind of thing. And that is about it on the plugins. I think it's enough to give you an idea how you're going to add them and all that kind of stuff. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I've got it over here in my notes. We were talking about the various free themes. Elegant Themes actually has a blog post about some of their favorite free themes, and only one of their themes is on the list. I mean, it's a showcase of a lot of other manufacturers' free themes. So you might want to take a look at that and kind of food for thought, that sort of thing. But they they talk a little bit about some other free themes that they like. You can go out, take a look at some of those, and maybe one of those fits your need. Anyway, that is about it for this video. I will see you on the next video. Comments, questions, all that kind of stuff, please leave it down below. I will get to it as soon as possible. And thanks a lot. See you next time.